still walking. So we're still getting our steps in. My shoes are back on. My shoes are back on. Okay, so as y'all know, I was in the middle of the stream down there. So I was standing in the middle of the water. Remember what I told you? At one particular point, this was all water. Where I'm standing at, you can see the richness of the earth. You can see the richness of the ground. I probably need to come get some and go put it on my plants. It's very mineral rich. Okay, because this is the bottom. You can see where people have maybe thrown something in here. You see it? Okay. So, walking. Here we go. This is why you want to get in water. You are a vortex of energy. Again, you are comprised of elements. Here we go. You're comprised of elements, but you are 75% at least water, right? And because you are 75% water, if you get around other water and that water stimulates your vortex, it helps to clean your energy. It helps to make the negative ions that change the compounds when they're bonded. If you don't get into the right frequency and the right healing vortexes, oops, excuse me, honey. Woo. If you don't get into the right frequency, the right energy, the vibration, do you see how the wind even picked up as I'm right here? How the earth, wherever the moon is, and the sun, fire, water, air. When you can get in the midst of it, there's another. See, young man's fishing right there. I'll walk back this way. I better not daggone slip either. But I'll walk back. He's fishing down there. So because you are comprised of the same elements, getting into water, because you are a vortex, you are wind, you have breath, this helps to cleanse your energy. Especially if you're out in nature, you're near birds. Birds help to lower your cortisol. That's your stress level. So you're out in nature, you're cleansing your energy, you're allowing nature, birds, the fish, the butterflies, the wind, you're allowing it all to speak to you so that you can release whatever harmful frequencies, whatever harmful, inflammation that you're holding in your body, harmful inflammation, if you are releasing it, letting the beauty of this take your pain. Seriously, I know that sounds so dramatically simple. I know that sounds just unrealistic, but that's why we're here. That's what you need to understand. You are the essence of your being that is able to heal. You are. There's power in healing. Go back and look at my shorts that I just posted today. These are things that I have been saying for almost a year now, for sure the last few months, about the purpose of, well, really I've been telling you the how, and Spirit really led me to say, I can't continue to talk about the how anymore. The how is for you to find for your own, right? But everyone has some basic principles that they can rely on, or some basic tools that they can rely on in order for you to have the proper guidance system turned on. So if you think of your being, your vessel, your body, your entity, your being that you see, because you see, what you're seeing, your skin, is really not even really what you are. That illusion of not just brown skin, but a broad nose or thick lips or almond eyes, whatever my descriptors are that people use, that's just like 1% of 1% of really like what you are comprised of. And if you really knew what you look like and what you were and who you are and where you're from and why you're purposefully, intensely where you're at, you would understand the power of why you can't see the other 99.99.9% of you. You would understand it because it's so much to behold, it's so much to comprehend, it's so much to realize. It'll scare you. You would scare yourself if you had the ability to see yourself as you really are. Whew, why did that feel like a mouthful? If you really understood the very beauty that you are, if you really understood the comprehensiveness of your design, if you really understood the value of your presence, if you really understood and can make the connection of why your mind, body, soul connects in your own unique way, if you can really understand your design, you're on the path to everything you came here to unlock. But it starts with the most simplest aspects in life. Get out in nature. Because that's when you are able to identify yourself without the distractions. Do you follow what I'm saying? You're able to recognize yourself. Yes, I'm crossing a spring. I tell y'all that I do not be bull capping on here. Some people do. But I want you to understand, I'm really out here, ooh, shoot, on a spring, climbing a rock. Told you this would have been all underwater 100 years ago. You can see it where the water line was. And to behold nature in the way. Now listen to this. I'm going to make a correlation. I'm going to get off here because I know my phone's about to die. And if you are watching the replay, go ahead and hit that like, that subscribe, leave a comment, all the things. Thank you. With that being said, I am now standing. Y'all see me? Hold on. Woo! So I'm now in a channel, okay? There's some people standing over there on the banks. There's some people down here at the water spring fall, right? So here's one even right here. All right, let me turn this around. If it had not been through some things, if there had not been some hands that changed documentation, if there were not some, happenings in life 100 and so change years ago, all this would have been underwater. But because things worked out the way that they worked out, because things transpired way before I got here, the way that they transpired, this whole riverbed right here is no longer full of water. It's literally just a channel of it. It's just the creek of it. I say all that to say, ooh, there's somebody's glasses. Now, if I was somebody else, I would walk out there just to pick up them glasses. But what I know is life don't play with me like that. So the next time somebody goes out here to these rivers and springs, leave the stuff that can drift and fall off and can mess up the water ecosystem. Leave that stuff on the edge of the bank. Don't bring that in the water, because if anything happens and it starts corroding and there's any type of plastics or any type of metals or anything that's toxic in them glasses and this water ever gets disturbed, I ain't saying it's just you, but if everybody takes care of their business by cleaning up behind themselves or not having trash in places that don't belong, then fortunately, like this stuff here, fortunately, we'll all be able to take care of it. And maybe that's why I'm here, because somebody had to destroy all this for me to be able to see it. So now that I can talk the way that I should talk, in the frequency, the energy, and the vibration that I have been gifted to talk, that I have been chosen and gifted to talk like this, I can tell you now, and all these logs, all these things are going to flow again. But listen, it's going to open up. All that's going to open up. All that down there is going to open up. And it'll be full again. Full of life. Full of wealth. Because it's nature. And that's what nature wants for me. Do you understand? Nature wants for me to be purposeful. Nature wants for me to be rich. Nature wants for me to be healthy. Nature wants for me to be vibrant. Nature wants me to be consistent because that's the energy we are exchanging. That's what it was restored back in me. Remember, I put my feet in the water. That's what it restored for me. That was the message for the day. That's the message for the day. When I was a kid, my mom used to sing this song in church. And she'd say, give and it shall come back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Well, why does it have to be shaken? It has to be stirred up. It has to have some new energy to it. It has to be vibrant. It has to have a change in structure. It has to have a change in mindset. It has to have a change in the way that you do your day-to-day habits. You have to have a change in the way that you pronounce yourself. You have to have a change in that. And it has to be clear and effective and concise and full and never backing down. That's what I'm talking about. Because remember, we would have been underwater. Or we would have never actually been able to get down here. Honestly. Now, I was going to walk back. That is slippery. So I don't do slippery slopes right now without the right shoes on. So I'm going back down here. I'm going to enjoy my afternoon. Y'all might catch me this evening around 8:30 if I haven't got my 10,000 steps in. So if I got to get my 10,000 in, I'll see y'all this evening. But if I get them in, y'all know what time it is. Bye, baby.